we go to this machine, which has little buckets around the outside, so that I can blow air on them and get it spinning to a quite high speed. Something like 5,000 revs a minute. Don't be alarmed by the noise. When we get this 8-pound wheel up to speed, I shall take a pin out there to allow it to flop like this, and then we shall do experiment number 1, which is to search for centrifugal force. If I bring out the gyro to that position, it is free to topple over. I shall need, in fact, a little weight to hold it down. Of course, in any other position, it's all right. It's only when the offset mass comes out there that it weighs over like that. Now, we'll spin this up, and then I'll take the weight off and ask Mr. Coates to catch the gyro as it falls. Now, if you'll come round there and ready to catch it when I lift the weight, next time round it's coming off. He cheated again, says the man in the gallery. Did he really? Yes, he pushed the aluminium back a bit. All right, he'll pull it forward a bit. More than a bit. Pull it forward a lot. The whole of the tower is now well outside the end of the bench. And if you want me to prove it, I'll show you what happens when the wheel is stationary. Again, it doesn't require much catching, you see. It's gentle as a lamb. Now we'll put the pin back in, and we'll see by how much it overbalances. Well, a lot, obviously. How much? That much? Oh, a lot more than that. That much? More than that. That's it. That much. Over 2 kilograms. Out of balance. And if that looks a ridiculous thing to do, I'm going to spin it up again and then turn it upside down. Yep. Sorry. Okay. Quite a brute to take upside down. Up to the marks. There we are. When you have seen that, you have seen something you have not seen before. Again, there was the same out of balance 2 kilograms. These gyros are getting larger, and of course, like electrical machines, as they get larger, they get better. Now, what was very interesting about that experiment, I'm about to show you. I'm going to modify this gyro by putting in a second pivot point. I screw that into there, and then the gyro into the end, and now the gyro has 2 alternative pivots. It can either pivot about there or about there. Okay? Which do you think it will elect to do? Bill? The gyro always knows the answer. Do that. It's never going to stay out there, is it? It'd be stupid to expect it to stay out there. Stupid, was it? Well, what about that one? Let's just have a look at what we've just done. The last thing I did was to take a gyro with a pivot there, another pivot there, and then the wheel. And we found that, of course, it elected for that to come down there like that, and the gyro to stick out there, because by doing so there was no change in the axis of spin of the gyro, no precession necessary. Why then did that work? Because there is a bench overhung. Here was an aluminium plate. The tower was completely outside the end of the table. A pivot there, the wheel there, and the second pivot there. This thing had the ability, if it wished, to do this and still remain with the gyro horizontal. Why did it not make use of the ability to go like that with the tower there and the gyro still horizontal? We shall see. This is the most remarkable experiment, I think, that I've ever done. I'll balance that, first of all, like a seesaw. So there is a balance point. When I take this out here, of course, then the balance point is upset. It should tip down. We know that given the opportunity, it's going to do this if it can, but now we've balanced it, and we've balanced it about its center of mass. So that if this gyro transfers its mass center to the pivot, it should stay balanced. The question is, will it? Let those who say I cannot make a body appear lighter than it is come and pull holes in that one. We shall proceed from larger gyros to still larger gyros. And this one, Bill, I think it was. This one weighs getting on for 15, 16 pounds, and we've got some spots on it so you can see its speed, and we're going to anchor it from the roof, chain it like a dog. They get rather big. Now I'm going to put a retort stand under what I believe to be the center of support. It's a bit difficult when the thing doesn't float. It's right this way. How's it this way? It's about it. It gives you a general guide as to where the pivot point is. Right, Bill, spin her up. When he hands this one to me, it's quite a handful. It has a mind of its own, and you want to turn it round, it says it wants to go back. There's a lot of energy in this wheel. Now, we are now giving it hardly any fetters whatever. It's only tethered to the roof, it's got no gimbal rings, it can go any way it pleases, it must surely want to rotate with its center of mass over the point, under the point of support. Yep. Cranky man. The Jabberwock isn't the only monster. Over the center of mass, over the center of support, there it goes. What will it do? "2001, A Space Odyssey." No less. Notice the angle it makes with the horizontal. It's tipped down a bit. In a moment you'll see it rise again. Now it's coming in on a shorter orbit, and the wheel axis is now beginning to tilt upwards. It is going to maintain its center of mass on a horizontal plane, even though as a conical pendulum it appears to have raised. Now it's actually going out again, and it will perform a number of these orbits from an outermost orbit to an innermost, and it reminds one of an electron, and it reminds one of an electron jumping from orbit to orbit, because they're said to spin also. If we have the patience, we'll see it come in again and rise up again, and the gyro wheel is slowing by its own pivot friction, and it is remarkable how low a speed you can get and still have the gyro staying horizontal when it gets close in. It is liable to get settled into a very definite orbit like this, which is the time when I move in and say, is he going back? You think it'll do it itself? It seems to have got rather settled. I'll just disturb it a trifle. Come on. I didn't disturb it enough. Go in. No. What I wanted him to do, no, he won't do it now. I'll have to help him. He's running down. He's running very slowly. But what is surprising is you begin to see the spots now, because he's only running very slowly, and I'm going to slow it still more because of our lack of time. Slow it right down till you can really see those spots, and then say, will you still maintain that that should be your axis of spin? And he says, yes, of course. Look at the rotational speed. It'll soon be down to the stage it's doing 1 revolution of precession per revolution of the rotor. And that is a most incredible machine. Something that you can try on a small scale with a toy gyro like this. Don't ever attempt it with this size, because it is very lethal indeed. Now, would you like to kill that one? Right, we go from bigger to bigger still. This time I call for a volunteer. I shouldn't if I were you. I've got a very specially trained astronaut for this. Come on, Dennis. Here's our chess defeating champion, beating the masters once again. When we stand him on here, I can turn him round with this handle from here. I can spin him round on that platform, so they're going to strap him in very, very tightly. Waist and shoulders. All right. And then we're going to spin up the biggest gyro of the day, which is here. This weighs 18 pounds. The shaft weighs 6 pounds. Would some strong fellow like to come and try his strength? Try lifting that up with both hands at one end like that. Who's going to try? Come on. All right, grab hold of the end. Okay? Whoa. Heavier than you thought, isn't it? Yep. Try again. Now do it with both hands at one end. You're never going to make it, boy. Right. Now, we're going to give this to Dennis, and we've spun it up to about 2,000 revs a minute. And he's going to show you his feats of strength. Okay?
Right.
Nice and easy. Nice and easy first, Dennis. Take a good hold, that's it. Yeah. Get your hands further back, Dennis. You got it. Your hand further back. Pull your hands in.
Well done.
Slow it down. I can make him lower it. Or raise it. Look at that. Put your arms out, Dennis, if you can. I'm going to shake this young man by the hand. He's got more courage than I ever had at his age. Because he knew... Now it's over, I can tell you, he knew that if he dropped that, it had enough energy that getting a good grip from the ground, it could have hurled itself 200 feet in the air. That was what he held. I'm doing this to warn you against doing demonstrations. We'll do that after this. I think it's more relevant. Can you bring in the...